Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to yet another Ask Engineer. Wow, it's my favorite hour of the week when I don't have to do EagleCAD or write code. It's me, Lady Ada, the engineer, and with me is Mr. Lady Ada on camera control. And we're here at the Adafruit factory in downtown Manhattan. This is where we do all the design, manufacturing, shipping, support. Everything that we do with electronics is here in this factory. It's a real factory too. It's a gigafactory. Well, maybe not giga, it's like a kilofactory.
Yeah, we were watching that video, the partnership with Tesla and Panasonic to make the battery factory.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, Elon Musk said the product itself is the factory because they want to make factories that make machines.
This Adafruit is like alive, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And we're so glad to be broadcasting from here, and we're going to tell you all about electronics engineering, what's going on in the maker movement this week.
Yeah.
So tell them what's on tonight's show.
On tonight's show, the code is Chewbacca. And we'll also get rid of that little graphic, the show and tell.
Chewbacca's the engineer?
Yeah, show and tell. Showing and sharing projects around the world. That happens every week, 7:30 p.m. Packed mailbags gonna stop by, read your emails and more to us. Help wanted, the Adafruit jobs board, the best place online to post your skills, and also if you're a company, find cool makers. Our weekly segment, I'm changing it up a little bit, but we're doing made here at the Adafruit factory, so you'll see that here in New York. Time travel, look back in the world of hackers, makers, artists, and engineers. 3D printing, new products, we're gonna answer your question, we're gonna have a trivia question, all that and more on
Dun, dun, dun.
Ask an Engineer.
Yay!
All right.
So much stuff happened. Oh, it's been a crazy busy
Yeah,
summer.
we had a lot of remote folks in from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
We had Tony D, Justin and Tyler, Adam, Todd, Brennan. It was a party.
Kubros.
They were here, and then we went
Marty
to
McGuire, too.
Marty
I
McGuire
see.
was here.
So
Yeah, we
many
have
we can't even-
we have 3 people named Martin in our company. We also have multiple Coopers. We also went to the Hope Conference. We'll talk about that tonight too. So let's pay some bills. Chewbacca's code, 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Everything but software and gift certificates.
Can you do a Chewbacca impression?
No. Well, I think we'll have a video about that in a bit. Okay.
I'm not hairy enough.
Paying some bills here. So $200 or more, you have a free UPS ground thing going on in your cart if you look on the checkout. So that's one of the things on checkout. Keep adding stuff to your cart, you get the free shipping.
Yeah, it'll tell you, and then you get real free shipping with like good tracking numbers. Will actually show up when it says it's going to show up, and a lovely, nice delivery person will appear and give it to you. And it'll be great.
When we do our stats, UPS has the highest on-time percentage of the carriers that we use.
Yep, we're
So
there
anyways.
for quality and reliability.
Yeah. Okay. And then if you're in New York City on checkout, and if it's before 11 a.m., you'll see a same-day delivery notice.
Yep, available in some parts of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And somebody will show up before 6 p.m. if you order by 11.
Yeah, it's been working out.
It works great when you're in a rush.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just dive right in. This is, of course, Ask an Engineer every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And we have Show and Tell every Wednesday 7:30 p.m. Lady Ada, the Show and Tell was epic.
It was epic.
It was
a lot
like
of new people this week.
There was a lot of cool stuff.
I wrote it all down.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read it off. We start off with Noah and Pedro, who made a cute poke case for this week's 3D printing project for 3D Thursday. It's a 2-piece design, and they like playing Pokemon. They just want to make a fun little case with the Poke logo on it, so that's kind of cool. You can show off your team colors. They also showed off a kind of cool hexagon birch plywood CNC project that they're working on. Phil B has been hacking on Circuit Playground, adding some of his famous audio projects like the FFT and audio reactive microphone, and also a little wave player can play very, very small sound effects. He made a little communicator badge, so when you tap it, it goes like chirp, like
Good start.
you know that chirp thing.
Good start for like a lot of fun sound projects
Yeah,
at Circuit
little
Playground.
mini projects, and also he made one that when you press it, it does the Mario coin ding ding. So it's like you can make a little Mario coin sound effect. So there's a very small speaker, but you can do quite a few fun little projects.
We got by with PC speakers for a very long period of time.
You know, it's funny. Actually, when I was working on Circuit Playground, one of the things I Googled around was for PC speaker, because people had been doing like, mod players with just the PC speaker. So it's looking at like how people did audio synthesis using just like the square wave for the PC speaker. So that's kind of fun. Beep. So yeah, you can do, tones and some basic sound effects, even though it's just a square wave. It sounds like a cheap toy, but it's meant to mimic, those little toy badges and toy sound effect boards that you get. And it'll do a little Casio tone type stuff. And then John Park showed off his Happy Chewbacca mask, which is pretty cool. We were showing a little bit of the video. It's his first project. John Park recently joined Adafruit. We'll talk about that some more later. David Dolan, he's first time showing off on the show and tell, and he's inspired by DEF CON happening like this week or next. And so he wanted to make a DIY rubber ducky. It's a little USB, like it looks like a USB key, like you plug it in and it shows up like a hard drive, but it actually is a keyboard, and it can like type nefarious commands. So he made one with a trinket. He showed how he made his own version, and he had some really cool Ableton Live posters. Scott S. today launched Chickadee Tech, so check out chickadee.tech. It's his stackable control board that uses a STM ARM 4, sorry, it's a M4, STM F4V something, I don't remember the part number. It's a really powerful 100-pin chip, and he made these stackable Hiroshi connectors that allow him to have up to 7 designs, and they all use UART, and he quit his job at Google, and so that's awesome, and he's ready to go into business. He's been checking in with us week after week, showing the manufacturer design, how he's
ready to launch.
How he's launching this product. So it's really cool. It's lovely to see a maker to market, but like in real life. Daniel is also his first time. He had a really hilarious voice-controlled robot. It's a walking robot that has voice recognition and speech, and so he can ask it questions and it will reply, and send it commands and it will make jokes back. It's going to be a humorous walking robot. You have to see it. It's very funny. Lon has done a check-in. He's been doing a lot lately. He's been streaming multiple times a week on Twitch, so check out his Twitch stream. He made a silicone molded ear cap for like a space helmet, like a really cool cyber ear thing, that looks like a robot ear type thing. And he showed how he did the silicone molding for that, where he brush molded on a design and then made a clay holder for it, and then you mold that. So a multi-step mold, a different molding technique. He's like doing a lot of cosplay technology, very high-end cosplay tech. And he's making a new 70s style ray gun with tons of electronic components. I cannot wait to see this super cool ray gun. And then C. Scott came in with a bunch of news. First off, he showed off a filter board that he's designing. There's one surface mount part. It used to come in dip. He could barely get it anymore. So he just surface mount solders this one SOIC chip on instead. He also got his PCBs for the Kickstarter that wrapped up. If you backed the Chrominius, which hopefully you did because it was a pretty cool Kickstarter synth, and we blogged about it, this PCBs are in, so that is good news. And then he talked about Ray Wilson, who did the project Music from Outer Space. It's actually a very famous website about synthesizers.
He just passed away.
Like 2 days ago.
He also has the analog synth book from Make.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I remember reading a bunch of his web pages, and he had some really cool, like spacey synths, and it was really fun. And he brought a lot of like joy to building synthesizers and analog electronics. And he was ill, and he passed away recently. So, in memoriam, C. Scott suggests that if we have a dream for something we want to do, we should do it because our time on this earth is limited.
Yeah, don't wait. If you're thinking of building a project or doing something, don't wait. Don't know. The thing that I always say, you always hear me say this is, people say life's short. It's actually, it is long. You do have a lot of time, but you don't have it forever. You can do a lot with the time you have. So get that stuff out there, and then you're kind of stuck with what you eventually do. So be happy with it, and go out there and It's never too late to start electronics.
Yeah, just follow. It's like it sounds so trite. It's like follow your dreams. But if you have projects you want to work on, like you said, don't wait for the perfect moment.
Yeah. I've actually heard that a lot. Like especially. We have over 100 employees. We also work with a lot of people, and there's a lot of folks who are like, "Oh, I'm totally going to do it soon. I just want to have like the perfect project." It's like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, there's the perfect is the enemy of the good. Better done than done well. That was
Yeah.
that was what I heard around MIT a lot.
Better done than
Better
all.
done than done well, and
Yeah.
it's a very driving thing that I say a lot because, you know, when you're in the muck of making electronics, there is success and there's failure, but that's the process
Yeah.
of learning, and it's.
Yeah, and in technology, there's always going to be something better down the road. So you always have to like, well, you know, here's what I can do now. Here's all the stuff that I can do now.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay, so thank you. It's very inspiring.
Yeah, all participants on the show and tell get an as you know on the show and tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com and we will send you out a sticker. Okay, we have an announcement. The Dronies ended. We picked the winners and more. Special thanks to all our judges: Annalie, Carol, Christy, Danielle, Helen, Jennifer, Lenore, Lisa, Liz, Sophie, Star, Jessica, and Becky. These were our panel of judges. They picked the winners, and the winners were folks who made videos or something with the drone.
Yeah, and they were cool videos too.
And so here we go. So I'm just going to play. This is on our website right now. So this is just me. I just hit capture so you can see this. So this is just a short piece of the first place winner. And this is Perspective Cinematography by Jay. And then some of the other things, Drone Boy. Let me check that out. And this is kind of neat because it's a drone and it's in a skate park. And you'll be able to hear some of the,
cool.
yeah, it's neat. It's like, that's exactly what you want. It's just like this drone following you around here, skateboarding.
Oh, neat. So it's like half
yeah.
GoPro, half drone.
Yeah, zombie versus drone. And then we have some honorable mentions. So the cool thing about this is they got this beautiful 3D printed trophy. And Noah and Pedro designed it, and we had prizes and more. And this was one of the first drone film festivals. We had this idea a long time ago, and then we called it the Dronies, and then we found out that Twitter has a trademark for Dronies, so we got permission from Twitter to use the name Dronies, because we didn't want to get in a trademark fight with anyone, but oddly enough, that's the trademark for Dronies. So we had
I love these little trains.
yeah, we had folks send in their videos and more, and someone already got their prize. They tweeted it. Just received my Drone Award for my film, Drone Boy. Thanks, guys.
All right, skate that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this has been an epic week. We've had a lot of live shows, Lady Ada. We have the Desk of Lady Ada. We just finished up the prototyping one on Saturday night. That was where you talked about, and this is part of a series that we're doing with Maker, where you talked about prototyping Circuit Playground. Mm-hmm. So that was on Saturday, and folks can watch that. And then coming up this Saturday is the funding one. So although Adafruit doesn't have funding, we don't have any loans of venture capital, we're supported by the viewers out there, we're going to talk about all the ways to fund electronic projects, and we're going to kind of pretend like if we wanted to do Circuit Playground as a Kickstarter, if we wanted to do it a different way, how would we do it?
But we'll also talk about bootstrapping
Yeah.
and how you can do it bootstrap style, and we'll show some of the math and how how we did it with the Zoxbox. So this is going to be,
Yeah.
we're not going to say you have to go VC, and we're not going to say you should never go get VC. We're not going to say use crowdfunding and never use crowdfunding. There's a lot of options. We'll talk about all the different systems that we see people use funding, and which ones we see work out pretty well, and
Yeah.
which ones we see that can be challenging.
Yeah. And this is all about Circuit Playground. This is what we've been working on for a bit. So we're telling this full story. So funding is this one, and then after that we have marketing. So we're almost done with the 10 video series.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. Okay. We released a new video. Pseudo-random was on Monday. And yeah, the reason why we did pseudo-random on Monday is Tuesday night you and I went to the Radiohead concert. I got my Radiohead shirt, you can tell. And we released pseudo-random guitar pedal with Colin and you. And I have a music video for it. right, on to mailbag. All right, emails that come in from the community, customers, fans, audience, you name it, they send them in. This week, this is from Will. Will says, Dear Kelly, I'm pretty sure that's the quickest response I've had from customer service team ever. Thank you again for the fantastic level of customer support, and I hope you have a great day.
Oh, thanks, Will.
Yeah.
And thanks, Kelly, for doing an awesome job.
That's right.
She's great.
Help wanted. All right, this is Adafruit jobs board. This is where people post their skills, and this is where companies find cool makers. This week on the jobs board, Lady Ada, it is a company.
Ooh.
Yeah, Inside Coach. They want an IMU algorithms developer. Inside Coach is a smart ball, Kickstarter, and privately funded project. As we're closing in on launching our product, we need help and talent on the programming side. We're looking for a software engineer or mathematician that has experience with IMU sensors, accelerometers, gyroscopes, magnometers, and barometers, and fusion algorithms such as Kalman filters and complementary filters. So, if that's you, they're looking for a long-term relationship. Passionate about the subject.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is it. Check it out. Adafruit.com/jobs.
Okay.
All right. Okay, next up, time travel. This week I have some Adafruit history, and then we're going to talk about some like hope stuff. So, time traveling. Do you know what you were doing in 2011? We were looking at a Radio Shack ad, and
interesting.
Yeah, USB Arduino was in there.
Which is weird. Well, not weird, but you know, they don't sell it, so it's kind of interesting that they would.
Yeah, and what's amazing is just a few weeks ago, we met the new owner of Radio Shack right here, and then we met the chief innovation officer of Radio Shack, and then we met the chairman of Radio Shack.
And the owner.
And the owner, so it's like full circle. So that's what we were doing in 2011. We're like, hey, that's pretty cool. That was a Arduino there. And then in 2 years later, you got an open source award. Congrats, Lady Ada. Remember that? You got an O'Reilly Open Source Award.
Vaguely, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because there's so many other open source awards.
I actually completely forgot about this.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what's funny is, open source stuff.
Yeah.
Still to this day, we'll get like a snarky thing that says, well, the firmware in the elevator that you take to your office isn't open source, so therefore.
That's not the year I spoke at ASKAN, though.
No,
Right,
this
that's
is,
a couple
this
years
is later.
Okay.
Yeah, we couldn't go out to the ceremony.
Right.
We kept them in there. But that's interesting. Is like there's such a you're never good enough when it comes to open source. Even if you got an open source award, you're still not open source enough because the elevator firmware is not open source.
My soldering iron isn't open source, or my.
Yeah, I know.
I link in a library once in a while.
Oh. How do you live yourself?
I barely do.
You did? Okay. All right.
Constantly committing
Next
suicide
up.
over my Libre.
Yeah.
It's GNU Linux.
The songs last night at the Radiohead concert were kind of chill. There wasn't as many rockin' songs. We both talked about that.
It was a little sad, yeah.
I think, yeah. But then you said you were super happy after the Cure concert.
I was. Well, The Cure is actually much happier. It's a very happy band. It's just funny. You'd think it would be the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Radiohead was definitely very, all
right.
low energy.
Okay.
Not low energy, but
all right.
Chill.
But over the weekend, we took it to 11. Hope 11. So we did a talk. I have a couple photos from this one, courtesy of Tony DeCola. Tony DeCola was out here. Thank you so much.
Mitch taking a picture of the photo.
Yeah, so we were on a business talk panel. I'd say the theme for us with the business talk was make sure you're a good cause and you can be a good business too. We were definitely different than how one of the presenters said, like, here's how to get VC, here's how to do this. Like we were definitely the hacker weirdos at the hacker conference when it came to business. Mitch also, I think, we kind of just do things different. That was my impression of that.
I like that there were multiple viewpoints.
Yeah.
That's good. People can choose.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. I know the bucket I was put in. It's like you guys are the weirdos. Like, hey, like we're the weirdos. So next up, I have some photos from home. Thought I'd show them.
Okay.
Another year, another photo of Lady Ada and Mitch at the hardware hacking area.
Look at his cool badge. It lights up and it says Mitch.
Yeah. And then Lady Ada and Waz and Shayna and Sophie, both from Hackaday, Shayna and Sophie. And This is a million years ago. I started to cite Hackaday. They had Hackaday cookies, so I had to take a photo of it. Hackaday cookies were not on my Hackaday roadmap when I had written one.
I don't see
over
why not.
10 years
I mean,
ago.
they're half moon cookies too.
I thought about Hackaday edibles, like food stuff, but I didn't think cookies. I wasn't thinking about cookies at the time. Okay. One neat thing, I like looking at trends. There was a biohacking area. Biohack the planet. There's people doing biohacking. Saw John Janier, friend, former Adafruit team member. He also had this cool, like, steampunky watch thing.
Is it steampunk, or is it goth punk, or is it cyberpunk?
Yeah, everyone can argue on Twitter about it.
Yeah,
okay.
you argue about it. Meanwhile, check out this cool watch.
Yeah, and then the other thing I kind of liked was this is another variation of the open source logo. So I had made a logo that looks like it was a million years
Look
ago.
at it. It's a little SIM
SIM
card.
card. It's a SIM card.
Isn't it adorable?
Yeah, this was from Airwaves.
This is like the best thing ever.
I like that.
Yeah, there's some cool SDR stuff going on.
Yeah, and then one of the highlights was Jason Scott's talk. Go check it out. It's online. And then, of course, the thing that really brought the whole conference together, someone had asked during our talk, like, what was the biggest business achievement? I think the expectation was going to be like a competitor that you took on, or a dollar amount,
Launching something.
Launching something, or like something that's very
like the Uber of Ubers.
Yeah, very business focused. But an example of what we think success has happened right before we had the talk out. A little girl came up to you and started talking about all the programming languages she's learning.
She gave me a huge hug. She totally flipped her lid. She was like, ah! And then she gave me a gigantic hug, and she wouldn't let go. And then she told me about all the programming languages she knows. She knows Scratch, and she was doing some BASIC, and she's learning Python. And she's just so excited to be learning Arduino and Raspberry Pi. And it was awesome. She's going to totally put me out of business one day. I'm looking forward to that.
That's what we said. We want some little kid to come along and.
So she was so nice,
yeah.
and
so
I gave her a gift.
So that's what success is like, one, our employees being able to grow careers and families because they're part of Adafruit, and then also the next generation of scientists, engineers, artists, mathematicians. This little girl is going to grow up in a world where you are what an engineer looks like. Pink hair and a lip ring, it's ruined for her. This is what an engineer is. And I think that's cool. So that's what we said our success looks like, is changing perceptions about what it means to be an engineer and what it means to do electronics. And it could be art, and you can have lots of different people together in it. So that was cool. And then, of course, if you want to check out a bunch of photos, if you go to flickr.com/photos/Adafruit, you'll be able to see a bunch of photos we took. We also did some stuff on Instagram.
Somehow I've attended Hope. Every Hope except the first one. The first one I was too young. I think it was.
Yeah.
Because that was 22 years ago, so I was 14. So that was not a good idea. But I did go to the one 20 years ago when I was 16 or 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty amazing. I've been to 10 Hopes.
Yeah. That's how we measure time now.
It's always been at the Hotel Pennsylvania too. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they keep letting us back.
Yeah, so we have this series that we do on the blog and on Instagram and on Twitter, and it's just like made in New York, and it's some scenes from Adafruit, and here's one from this week. Just time lapse, people making stuff, and
where was that? Was that put on the?
Yeah, I think we magnetized it up there.
Oh, they stuck it to like one of the events.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, as an Open Source Hardware Association member, or supporting member, I have some open source hardware news, Lady Ada, this week. I'm starting to use the new logo instead of the other
red, green,
thing.
blue.
Yeah. So this week, some things in the world of open source hardware. New Arduino IDE, it's out.
Yes.
Download it, 1.6.10 from arduino.cc.
I'm not 100% sure what had been updated. I think they updated the compiler a little bit, which is kind of cool. A couple small updates that make it like easier to do stuff. I also checked out Create, so that's kind of interesting. So yeah, there's a lot actually a lot happening in Arduino land.
Yeah,
Arduino's actually
they're getting there.
Doing a lot.
Yep. And then the other thing, I just put all this in the news section tonight.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like whatever. So last week we didn't get a chance to talk about it because we had Tony D as a guest this week. I'll just mention it briefly. Be sure to check out adafruitdaily.com. We have a Maker Business newsletter. It is the season of semiconductor acquisitions.
Yes, we had Microchip got purchased by Atmel.
Yes.
which was Dialog was going to buy them, and then who else was acquired?
I thought Microchip purchased Atmel, not Atmel purchased Microchip.
That's what I meant. Microchip purchased Atmel. Dialog was going to, but then they didn't. And then Maxim has been purchasing. Well, of course, TI bought Nat Semi a couple of years ago.
And now SoftBank bought ARM.
Yeah.
And ARM doesn't make chips; they make chip designs.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. That was
But Broadcom got sold. Mm-hmm. And then they also spun off their Wi-Fi IoT stuff, and that got bought by Cypress.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
Yeah, man. So that's going on right now. And then, of course, Analog just purchased Linear. And you like Linear.
I do.
What does Linear make that you really like?
Well, they make the LT1302, which is the chip inside of the Minty Boost, which is like an amazingly good dip boost converter. I mean, their power supply chips are, of course, top-notch. They're the best of the best. We also use their 16-channel LED boost driver for the Qualia display driver board. It's a lovely, it's current matching. It's just always like perfect. The only thing is it's always a little bit expensive. So it's like when you use them, you're going to get excellent quality, but you just have to be willing to budget in for it.
Okay.
But they're definitely not going anywhere. They make the best.
Okay.
They make the best.
So that's happening. We'll see what the differences are, but yeah, it is the season. And then in other
a good add-on to Analog, because Analog does like sensors. They do ADCs, of course, and DACs, and they do some microcontrollers, and they do mixed signal stuff, and they do radio, and they even have some like HDMI video stuff going on, but they don't really do power supplies.
Okay.
Power management, not really their thing. So Linear is a good complement.
Yeah. And then back to some open source hardware news. Open Source Hardware Association and Shapeways and others have posted up. There's a copyright question, a case that's coming up. Yeah, okay. It's Athletica versus Varsity Brands, and basically it's a little unclear what is copyrightable and what's not. And so the 3D printing folks are interested because normally there's like 10 tests, and you can tell if what's copyrightable because some of it's functional, some of it is
creative,
decorative.
Yeah.
But this thing with the cheerleader outfits, none of those really work. So what they're asking is the Supreme Court to decide what is a simple test. Is it copyrightable or not? Because if you're someone who does open source hardware, for instance, or 3D printing, you want to know what's protectable and what's not, because maybe you want to give away a lot of stuff. Maybe
there's no actual test. I mean, there's some basic assumption, but there's no actual case law.
Not yet.
On hardware.
Yeah.
Hardware.
So check it out on any of the sites, OSHWA.org, and also on Shapeways. And Michael Weinberg's doing an excellent job describing this in a way that makes sense for makers, and especially people in the 3D printing world. There's a lot of things that are just decorative and a lot of things that are functional when it comes to 3D printing. So a lot of things could change potentially with this. So anyways, check that out. And then some other news that we didn't get a chance to do last week is Bunny and Snowden teamed up, and they're doing this radio thing where you can tell if your phone is getting listened to.
Yeah, it taps in onto the debug lines for Bluetooth, cellular, and GPS, and just sees if there's messages passing back and forth, because you can't, there's no software way to make it not send those messages. So even you could have your phone and it would say like, oh, well, the Wi-Fi's off, but there's not a mechanical switch that says the Wi-Fi's off or the cellular's off or the GPS is off. So this would allow you to basically sense the commands to make sure that the actual hardware is off.
Yeah, and then Bunny's also suing the government proactively. Yeah. So we'll cover that as that story evolves. Okay. Lady Ada, we have some learning guides this week.
A lot.
So this is the one I just hit new and then I just put this on here. So if I miss one, sorry, but this is the ones that I grabbed.
I'm trying to remember which so I think the gas sensor we covered that 2 weeks ago.
One, yes.
So we have the glowing LED team badge for Pokemon Go. So this is a Circuit Playground project, and it's actually a very simple but powerful project. You can press the button to change it from red, yellow, or blue, your team color, and there's a 3D printed cool case, and then it flashes white to warn people when you're walking, so it can tell when you're moving with the accelerometer. We also have my Learn Arduino Lesson 0. This is an update from my very old Arduino tutorials, updating them, revising them. Those were written like for the Arduino NG, so a lot has changed. So this is a whole rewrite of Lesson 0, and I'm still going to be tweaking this, but this is mostly a hardware overview of the Arduino Uno, and really covers like all the details, not just this is a DC power jack, but what voltage can you put in, and why, and like what is the protection on it, and how to use it. Adam Beckman has a naming things in Adafruit IO. It's talking about like if you're interested in how you do paths and devices and what things are in Adafruit IO. It's more in depth, but it's good for people who are, okay, I followed the guides and I want to know more about Adafruit IO. I also have a Circuit Playground Lesson 0, which is the mirror of the Learn Arduino, but it's for Circuit Playground. So I rewrote basically that lesson, but with Circuit Playground in mind. So also, it actually doesn't, you don't need to use Arduino with it, but it's just a hardware overview and Arduino library reference as well. The Ruiz brothers did a project last week, a little rubbery Circuit Playground wearable, so you can strap Circuit Playground to your wrist. So that's cool. Aaron St. Blaine did a 3D printed NeoPixel button, little mini tactile buttons. It's like a cup cover with a NeoPixel button and a tact switch, so like a handy way to make interface for wearables or any soft electronics with a button. And then K-Town, after it's funny, we've been kind of trying to do this for like 2 years. We finally have an AWS IoT compatible microcontroller, which is actually a really big deal. This is the first, and as far as I can tell, the only microcontroller that is maker friendly, like you can actually get it without an NDA, and you can use it with Arduino, and you can connect to Amazon IoT, which is the AWS IoT service, which is extremely popular and is free for 100,000 messages. It's very hard to use without Linux because you have to do this SSL by, you have to a certificate for certification as well as authentication, and so you actually have to have the core support for it. And the Wicked chipset has always been advertised as like, hey, it supports Amazon AWS, but like it was never like really done in a way that anyone could use. So what's neat is this tutorial shows you how to use it with Arduino, and it's like a 5-minute setup. You just copy and paste the certificate and the private key, you paste it into a header file, and it just works with Amazon AWS. So pretty big deal for people who want to use AWS IoT. And
that's pretty much where it's heading.
Yeah.
That's the destination. So it's another good example of us kind of, we did hardware and then software. It takes a while, but we're ahead.
We're getting to everything. I mean, this, it's funny. It's like every few months, like Amazon will check in. Hey, how's it going? We're like, we're getting there. Everything else that uses this is Linux.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's high power. It's chunky. Doesn't run on a battery. This is something that's extremely low power and portable.
Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit of a video from Aaron. This is from our project. Just a few, just a little bit.
It's a fun little video.
Just a little bit of a break. All right, you can watch the full video. I could just watch that all day. But also, we have some new features coming up in Learn that'll be out soon. So this is called spoiler text.
Yeah.
So if we do like a little bit of a quiz, it's blurred out that area, and then it can be revealed.
Yeah, this is cool. For the because I'm doing that port of the Arduino tutorials.
Yeah.
And so there's some parts where there's quiz questions, or like, hey, try modifying the text. What line do you have to modify to make the LED blink twice as fast? And so, I want to have the answer available And usually it's like, look in the back of the book, but we don't have that with Learn. And I don't have like the text upside down because that's kind of weird. What I used to do is have the text in white and you would have to highlight it, kind of like the spoiler text. But I'd ask Justin, hey, can you just add the ability to do that or something like that? And he's like, oh, I'll do even better. I'll make a little, like it's a blurred, he uses CSS to blur the text. And then you can click on it to reveal the secret. So that's kind of cool.
And then we'll probably be launching this guide. This is coming soon. This is Introduction to iOS Development. So we have a getting started guide with that.
I know.
This is going to be awesome. So getting the Apple ID, Xcode, enrolling in the dev program, creating the iOS distribution certificate, the provisioning, creating an app, and then submitting your app to the App Store. I haven't seen any of the electronic companies or sites or really resources like this, so we're doing that.
Yeah, we're going to do that so that people can create their own custom, basically Bluefruit apps, Bluefruit compatible apps, because it's something that people have asked for. Like we have an app, it does a lot, but what if you want to write your own custom app?
Yeah, so that's that. Okay.
That's the guide.
3D printing time. Zip, 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 zip. Don Pedro, have a cool video. It's a Pokemon case.
Catch 'em all.
In this project, we'll show you how to 3D print a Pokemon-themed case for the iPhone 6 and 6S Plus. We 3D printed this case in Cheetah, which is industrial-grade flexible filament from Ninja Tech. It has a Shore hardness of 95A, and it's both flexible and impact-resistant. It's much easier to 3D print than regular Ninja Flex, and it can be printed at faster speeds. Our extruder temperature was set to 240°C, which is a bit hotter, but this will allow the material to flow much better. Our glass bed was heated to 65°C, but a heated bed is not required. For a non-heated bed, we used blue painter's tape. Printing speeds was set to 40mm a second, with the first, top, and bottom layers printing half that speed. You always want to print slower with any flexible material to get sufficient layer bonding and good adhesion to the bed. The Pokemon logo is printed separately in cool gray colored PLA. The two parts fit together and are held in place when it's fitted in the iPhone. The side buttons are raised and they're really easy to press. There's also portholes on the bottom of the case. You can obviously print the case in your team color and mix up the dual tones with the Pokeball logo. You can remix this case design to fit your phone, and if you don't have access to a 3D printer, you can always use a service like 3D Hubs or Shapeways.
Okay, and then we have another video where we're doing some milling and more. So here we go.
Beautiful.
All right.
I love how they're doing like 3D printing, and then they're also doing milling and then acrylic cutting, and they're just I have so many tools that they're.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about wood and then like kind of red acrylic that just
Glowy.
says 70s to me.
I know.
It's like, this is 70s. It's like station wagon. Like the wood panels on this. I don't know. It's just like Logan's Run station wagons.
Yeah, that did have a little bit of like a sci-fi prop look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, what's
and
next?
then we have a time lapse. All right.
I totally need one of those.
Yeah.
Those are so cool.
And wait, there's more.
What?
Well, there's more videos. So we have two, we're going to show two clips.
Okay.
So John Park, formerly of Make TV, Pixar, Disney, he's been working on a video. He joined the Adafruit team.
He's also a lovely person.
He's also a lovely person. He did this weird thing with his neck too. It's cool. Yeah. And the video's about to launch, and we have a clip. So I'm going to play 30 seconds from the beginning, and then 30 seconds from the end.
Hi, I'm John Park, and this is a Chewbacca mask. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the audio so that we're not listening to the standard old Wookiee sounds, as nice as they are, but instead be able to replace them with any sound effects that we want. Now it is time to take it apart. So first thing I'm going to do is remove...
And then we're going to play the last bit of it.
Okay, so now you did all the work, and then half an hour later, you get.
That's not me making that noise, it's the mask! Stop! Oh, I gotta stop! Wow! Okay, now I'm gonna let Chewbacca talk here.
I'm trying to use the phone!
All right, I hope you enjoyed it. That is the Happy Chewbacca mask.
Such a happy Chewbacca!
That is the Happy Chewbacca mask rebuild. That's not what it's called.
Okay, we're just going to keep rolling here. We've been releasing a bunch of fritzing.
Yes,
And-
thanks to Phil B's amazing work on
Yeah,
the fritzing generator.
I'm not going to go into all of
Look
these.
at all
I'm just
these
gonna-
beautiful
I'm just going to say,
boards.
look how good they look.
They look so good. So
They
you
look
have the motor
good.
shield, all these things that people have been asking for, the BMP sensors, the motor drivers, all of our new products. Whenever we make a new product now, we automatically make the fritzing file for it. So like today's new product, the Ethernet Featherwing, already has the fritzing. It's part of my workflow on releasing a new device. So there is, 100 old devices we have to go through and do, but we're gonna get there, we're gonna get there.
Yeah. Okay. Lady Ada, let's do the code.
Okay.
Chewbacca. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, but I'll say Eastern time. That's what I'll say. Because that's what
fine.
it is. Yeah. I don't think it's Eastern Standard Time right now. It's not.
Dude, who knows?
Yeah. Okay. New product time.
New.
Okay. You want to do this?
Yes.
All right. What's this?
It's a nice and easy new. So this is a little clip. I mean, it's a little, it's a silver pin with a foam backing, and we got these, and it's just a small, simple thing that you can use, and you can stick it on the back of your circuit playground or on your Flora. I can just show it on the overhead. It's very simple, very effective. So let me zoom in. So you got like your flora, and you got your little pin backing, and you stick it on the back, and then now you have a little wearable flora, and it's a little protector, and then you can attach it to your wearable very easily. Especially if you have like a circuit playground, something that's self-enclosed that you don't want to or have to solder to. This is just a lovely way to make your feather or your circuit playground or your flora or whatever you have into a wearable.
Okay.
Super simple.
All right. Next up.
Squishy buttons. These are our squishy elastomery buttons, and we got them actually because they are a favorite of Noah and Pedro for use with the Pi Girl project. They're a teeny bit bigger than 6mm tactile switches, but they will basically fit with a little bit of bending into a 6mm device. And just what's nice about them is they're just really soft and squishy. They don't have a clicky feel. It's a soft feel, and so if you're making like the Pi Girls and you want to have like a squishy elastomer feeling to the buttons and not a clicky feel, you just swap these in and they work great. And they have a little nub, but yeah, this is just a squish button.
Okay. And next up.
Keeping it squish.
Keeping it squish. All right. And next up, we got these.
This is from Pimeroni, and this is the blinked, and it's just a 8-pixel strip of APA 102s. They're very easy to use with Raspberry Pi, and they are basically NeoPixels but use 2 pins, and you can just plug it onto your Raspberry Pi. It's kind of designed for the Zero, but you can really use it with anything to make a little display, maybe precision type stuff, whatever. Little add-on. It's very cute. You just plug it in, ready to go.
Okay. Live demo?
Yeah, we have a live demo. It's incredibly bright, as you can see, and then you see just plugs right in. It comes assembled, so it's very easy to use. I actually like it. It's very simple. That's it. You just plug it in, and you just want a couple LEDs, and then you can still have other stuff connected to it with the stacking headers or something if you'd like.
Yeah. I think I say this every time we have anything that lights up. I'll say it again. If you're shopping on an electronics site, they should show a picture of the thing lit up. I like that we do it.
We didn't have a video.
I like that we have videos. I think it's important, and I kind of feel like if you're not doing that, it's not really good for the customer.
Yeah, you want to see what it's like because it like displays especially, you want to really see what you're getting.
And I'll say this: if you don't do that, it means that you don't maybe even have the code to run it or something, and they're gonna get hosed anyways. Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. What do you want to show next?
Okay.
The star of the show tonight, besides you, Lady Ada.
Yes.
Is Ethernet feather.
Ethernet feathering. It's not out yet from a while ago.
Ether feather.
We finally. It's this week. This is its week. It is an Ethernet featherwing. It has a WizNet 5500 chip. It's funny. Like we haven't had any Ethernet stuff we've made in house for quite a while, but because we have the selective solder machine, it comes with the jack plugged in. Because otherwise, it's how are you going to test that it works? So it comes with the Ethernet jack. You plug in Ethernet. It works with all feathers. So yeah, you can plug it on an ESP 8266 or a Wicked, or you can plug it onto the LoRa feathers and make a LoRa Ethernet gateway, what have you. It uses the 3 SPI pins plus 1 configurable chip select pin. And you want to show this on the overhead, maybe? I can show it off. So this is, you just put headers on it, and whatever headers you want. So this is the feather, and then you can configure the chip select line. But and it uses quite a bit of power, but all of the feathers that we sell have a good enough power supply. It's a little bit longer because of course the Ethernet jack is quite big and it sticks out, and we to make it fit. But it works really well, and what's great is the Ethernet 2 library, because it's super cross-platform compatible. Like this is a 32U4, and let's try this. Oh, hold on, it's in booting mode. But it's got nice link and activity LEDs, so that's kind of nice. You can tell when you've got link. I'm just waiting for the bootloader. Yeah, I just want to wait for the bootloader to time out. Okay, so it's connected to the Ethernet. And 2 seconds later, it will say, oh, come on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What's up?
It was totally working. Actually, I unplugged it to make it work. I'm going to try resetting it again.
Reset it.
I'll reseat this Ethernet as well. But so it uses the WizNet Wiz 5500, so it has a built-in TCP/IP stack, which is kind of handy. So you don't have to do a lot of the TCP/IP stuff like in the chip itself. It uses the client interface, so you can like almost any example code that already exists for Ethernet will work with this. Of course, like now it was connected and now it's not.
All right.
I don't know what's going on. Sorry, but I don't know, maybe I unplugged the Ethernet cable. But at my desk, it was working great. And
I don't know what that.
no, I keep bouncing, I keep bumping it. You know, it basically does DHCP, it gets an IP address, and then, you know, you can use it with MQTT or REST or
I should-
website.
I'll double check. Maybe your cable's not plugged in.
It might not be plugged
Sorry.
in. Or it might not, the router might not be plugged in.
Yeah.
But then,
Oops.
Ethernet.
Okay.
It was working 1 minute ago.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. All right.
Live demo.
And with that, all right, lady. Go to Chewbacca, all the way up to 1:59 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Okay, we've got a few minutes left. We're going to do questions.
Yep.
So post your questions in the chat room. We'll answer them the best we can. Someone wants to know, how did they make sure that nothing will happen to their computer? They're using a circuit playground, they short something out.
Well, your computer will have a built-in fuse. All the USB ports do, and so you'll get like a pop-up that says, you know, there's a device that had overcurrent if you try to back power it. There isn't actually a back power line to USB. It actually goes only the 3.3 volt regulator, and then the battery goes through diodes. So even if you put a high voltage on the VBAT line, it's not going to backfeed into your circuit port.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
a lot going on.
Yeah, I got a lot going on. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Next up is I have a Feather 324 RFM 69 900 megahertz and trying to capture and transmit it to a 916.8 megahertz device. Is that possible? I've not been able to get a read from the 916.8 transmitting device.
Well, it depends. It has to, you know, you have to put the radio in the right mode. It has to be like the right FSK or OOK, whatever, encoding. So, you know, those are kind of designed to talk to each other. If you want to have it read or communicate with a separate device, you're going to have to make sure that whatever that device is transmitting, you're receiving that, you know, there's a sync word, there is like all sorts of stuff that you have to make sure that you have matched up before it's going to, like, it's not going to magically work. You have to make them know to talk to each other.
Okay. All right. Next up, can we use the LiPo charger to charge a 18650 cell?
Yeah, sure. I mean, any li-poly battery or lithium-ion cell will be chargeable.
Okay. Next up, can I use a particle board with your I/O service?
You probably can.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've tried it, but it, you know, as long as you can compile an MQTT device. I mean, Particle has their own, and so you might want to use theirs, but anything that can compile the Adafruit MQTT library, which I'm sure Particle will compile because it's Arduino compatible, but you'll have to get it into their IDE, so that's a little bit more of a challenge.
Yeah. Okay. Do the squishy buttons fit well on a Pi Girl Zero?
They can be. You just have to bend the legs and kind of push them in, but they do fit. There's a little bit of squishing.
Okay. Is there an easy way to calibrate a PID controller for a project?
Is there an easy way?
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no easy way. It's tuning a PID controller takes a lot of trial and error, and also it depends on whether you have a linear system or not. There are tutorials that kind of talk a little bit about how you start tuning, but you know, there's people whose like their livelihoods are like, I'm a PID tuner for, you know, motor control system or heating systems. So there's no easy way to do it. There are ways to do it, but making it easy is the challenge. There's no real easy way. There's also auto tuners, but they kind of have to they depend on having something reasonable. They have to be kind of close. You just have like step responses and look at the oscillations and stuff.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to get a treadmill DC motor controlled with PWM from an Arduino. I don't fully understand where the 5 volts on the control is going after it gets sent to the transistor.
Boy, I mean, you're gonna have to have some motor driver for that treadmill motor. You know, you're gonna have a driver, and it might not be a 5 volt signal. It might have a bus signal, or it might use multiple wires. It, you know, may not be PWM. You might have to get your own motor controller that you know how to use and connect it to this DC motor.
Okay. Let's see. I'm skipping around here. All right. So we got a few more. I can't find all the music used in your videos in SoundCloud. Is that right? And will be uploaded in the future? Yeah, maybe. I think we put most of it on SoundCloud for the album Frequency. That's what's up there. If we haven't put a song up, let us know. Do you know any of the light switches that fit inside of a standard US light box that's controllable via the 433 megahertz, but also physically at the switch itself?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming there's something out there that can do it, but I don't know what it would be. I mean, I've never used them. It might be tough because, you know, it's metallized, so it'd have to. I mean, I guess the plastic cover might be okay. Maybe you can get the signal through there, but then you kind of have to be in the room. It's a little bit tough because, you know, the light boxes. I mean, I don't know if they're usually made out of metal or not.
Yeah.
Those electric boxes are completely enclosed, but maybe the light boxes are different. I haven't done a lot of home construction.
Okay.
Renter. Can you tell?
Yeah. Get to that. Okay, those are the questions because we got to jam out of here.
Okay.
Lady Ada, what's the rules for trivia?
Rules are, if you've won something before, you can't win again. Only one winner per lifetime, and that's my lifetime. And the prize today is going to be one of these Ethernet feather wings. This is a good one for people who already own a feather or are interested in feather. You will get one feather wing with Ethernet. And the first person to answer the question that you're going to ask in the chat wins.
Okay.
Epic.
And this is from the Time Travel Post, what was the predecessor of the United States Postal Service?
Like, what was it called?
What was it called before it was called the United States Postal Service? Ooh.
Okay.
What was it called? The answer is not Chewbacca. Let's see. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to figure out Facebook, which is really hard to do. So I can't seem to...
Oh, see, now the Ethernet works. Can you go to the overhead real fast?
Yeah, let me see if this is... If the audio is coming in.
I don't know why, like, it wasn't working. And now it's
Oh, you want to prove that this is the thing?
Yeah, I have to prove it. So, yeah, I just connected to Ethernet,
Oh.
and then it got an IP address.
Yeah.
10.0.0.168.
Okay, kick the cable.
I don't know. That's what it is. But, yeah, it does work, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you can connect to the internet. And I like
the
wires.
One Nation Postal Service is not correct.
Yeah.
Pony Express is not correct. Jeez.
Everybody thinks so. People
Yeah.
believe what they watch on TV, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they old-timey cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, looks like Archie Rokes got it. Post Office Department.
The Post Office Department.
Yeah. So if you look at time travel, the Post Office Department, 1792 to 1971 was the predecessor of the United States Postal Service.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to say that they weren't creative in their naming, but like, this is pretty basic.
All right, so Post Office Department.
All right,
Kinda neat.
congratulations.
Yeah.
You are the winner of an
You
Ethernet
won.
Featherwing.
You
Wow.
won. Email
PID.
supported is, yeah.
It's PID 3201, so when you email support at Adafruit, say, I want a PID 3201. I'll just make it a little faster for them because that way they don't have to check with us what the PID is.
Yeah.
PID 3201. That's cool. We've passed 3,200 new products.
We're there.
Every week we do new products. Little by
Okay.
little.
Yeah, the thing is, it's impossible to turn off the Facebook Live thing. Anyways,
Okay.
unknown how to do it. Okay,
What
so
do
you
you
got
do?
that working out. That's good.
Yay, Ethernet works.
Okay,
Giveaway works.
the giveaway works.
All this works.
We got the questions done. That's
Is
our
there
show for
anything
the night,
else?
everybody. Code
That's it.
Chewbacca.
Yay!
Don't forget. Use it all the way
Yes.
up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight.
10% off
Yeah.
everything but software and gift certificates,
Yeah,
and
the-
that will help us pay for a vegan pizza.
Yeah, the thing that we learned at the Hope Conference is, and this was from one of the presenters there, is all startups pretty much fail. And then everyone seems to do the same thing over and over. And I don't think doing a live electronics show has been in any business plan ever. So thank you everyone for helping us beat the odds. I'm not saying every electronics company that's going to be successful should have a weekly online video show, but it seems to be.
If you're going to cargo cult something, cargo cult this.
It seems to be one of the things that works out, at least for us.
Okay.
So thank you all the folks, Team Adafruit, who's in the chat working on stuff, and thank you for all the folks that are purchasing stuff and participating on the show and tell and more. And then we're exhausted. Things are. We're just gonna go throw up or something.
Yeah, we had an exciting week.
Yeah.
So excited.
It's been intense.
Okay.
So we're gonna chill.
Let's go home and chill.
Yeah. So we'll see everyone in a week. We have and we have our video coming up on Saturday.
On Saturday, I'm going to do another
Yeah.
hour and a half long video.
Here's a picture of Cat in the Box. And here's your moment of Zener. Bye bye.
Laters.
That's not me making that noise, it's the mask! Stop! Oh, I gotta stop! Wow! Okay, now I'm gonna let Chewbacca talk here.
I'm trying to use the phone!
All right, I hope you enjoyed it. That is the Happy Chewbacca mask.
Such a happy Chewbacca!
That is the Happy Chewbacca mask rebuild. That's not what it's called.